There we go. So, yeah, this is my first time at Tech Talent. So, thank you very much for having us. So, just talk about a little bit about what we're going to be and the reason why we're here today. So we're going to give you a bit of a guide on the virtual recruitment life cycle. Some of the feedback that we've had from candidates and some clients alike as well is trying to navigate the recruitment process in the remote market. Which is obviously changed the way that we and everyone else, and for that matter, has recruited for obvious reasons. So yeah, but a bit of background about Harvey Nash. So you may be familiar with us, but for those who aren't, this is for your benefit. So the wider Harvey Nash group has been around since the late 1980s, but the Northeast business, we opened our doors in 2014. So we're recruitment specialists in technology and business change, but that's not limited to traditional recruitment. We also have retained searches. We do specific leadership searches. We also offer thought leadership as well. So you may well have seen, if you follow me on LinkedIn, you certainly have seen the tech survey and the CIO survey and our diversity surveys as well, which have won many industry awards. And we also do have different branches of Harvey Nash, like Nash Tech and Crimson, that we use for software development, offshoring, nearshoring, and and process outsourcing as well. So enough about the company. Why are we here today? So as I mentioned prior, this talk is essentially to make sure that you're ready for the remote recruitment process. So we'll start with a bit of a CV writing workshop, what your dream company wants to see, and preparing you for the interview process once you've got that CV all well and good, and including dress code, which has been a real point of confusion for many people. And then after, the onboarding process as well. With new remote opportunities comes different ways of onboarding, particularly if you're working for a company that's not necessarily in the area that you live. So starting with the CV, the all-important. I know there's a lot of students here today who are just starting their journey of trying to find a role in technology. So in terms of a layout, you want something that's quite simple. You want a Word document that's sort of structured. Everything is clearly subtitled as well, which we'll get onto in a second. But don't try and overcomplicate things unless you're going specifically for a UX or a design role. A simple Word document will do. This is really important as well because cultural fit is becoming more and more important in technology. So this is your opportunity for your personality to shine through. Show the client what type of worker you are, even maybe put some of your interests in there as well, because it could be a case of finding some commonality with your new team. Education, so there's no need to overcomplicate this. You don't want your cycling proficiency certificate or anything on there. Just stick to the industry specific or industry related qualifications, your degree, of course, any particular sort of projects that you've done in your degree as well that you think will be of note, your A levels and GCSEs. It's fine just to sort of put the amount. Say I got 5 A to C's from whatever school and what year. In terms of skills, so this is particularly important in terms of showcasing the level of experience and level of proficiency and where your skill set lies. So put a list of all the relevant skills in that particular job. Say you're going for a .NET developer role, put .NET, the level of experience you've got, say 3 years or whatever, because that's really sort of useful for clients that can see from the outset what your skill set is, and there's no sort of confusion there. You can put yourself in the best possible position in that sense. Projects, as I mentioned, especially in education, if you are going for more junior roles, any sort of side projects as well that you've been working on your own time. Alongside that, you should always demonstrate the projects that you have worked on through a GitHub or any sort of any other link that maybe be able to demonstrate the work that you've done outside of work. And in terms of work history, so put it in ascending order. Make sure you outline all of your roles and responsibilities, or the ones that are particularly relevant as well. So if you're in charge of making the tea, you don't need to put that or anything. But make sure also that, linking back to the skill set area, make sure that you're putting where you've used particular technologies or tools in your work experience, how you've used it, just to sort of add a little bit more depth to your the skill set that you're trying to present. So just remember, this is a common myth with CVs, that it should be over 1 or 2 pages. That really doesn't matter. As long as the content is relevant and your skills properly demonstrated, it can be as long or as short as you need it to be. Again, you're writing you're writing to a prospective employer. So try and tailor the role to look at the job spec essentially, and try and tailor your experience to match that in terms of what you have actually done. Right, so now you've got the interview. Again, this stuff might seem pretty basic, but it's been a real sort of point of confusion for a lot of people. Are living in a remote world, so remote interviewing is it is always going to be in the process now. So make sure that the software, that say Teams, Zoom, Google Hangouts, make sure it actually works. Download the application and make sure that it's compatible with the equipment that you're using. Dress as you would do for a normal interview. That may be an obvious one, but you'd be surprised about how many people might have done an interview in the pajamas. But dress like you would for a regular interview. This is still a conversation with your prospective employer, so remember that. Make sure that you're well lit as well. Pretty simple one, but make sure you're in the frame. Make sure that you're well lit, and that the person that you're talking to can see you clearly. Research the company. That is very, very important. If needs be, you can have a look on LinkedIn to see what the interviewers actually do. Make sure you understand the company, the culture, what the company does inside out, because likelihood is you will be asked about what you know. Reread the job spec again. Try and come up with some competency-based questions based on the roles and responsibilities outlined in the job spec, and then try and structure those into your answer. Also, if you're going for a technical role, there may be a technical test that you will be on camera for as well. So be prepared for that eventuality, although you should probably be briefed on that prior. So now you've got the job, you've followed all that advice. Ensure that you've got a HR contact that you're constantly communicating with. There has been a couple of instances where equipment hasn't been couriered on time for them starting. So make sure that you're aware of the process of how you're going to get your equipment. It could be that you're being sent it. Could be the fact that you have to go into the office to pick it up. But just make sure you're aware of the process. If you can, get to know your new team. Although you may be working with people from all over the country now, and might never actually meet them face to face, get to know them. You're still going to be on daily stand-ups with them. Embed yourself into the culture. That's probably more important than ever now, because there's very few chances to do it before you start. So you'll likely be advised on your timetable for the first day. It shouldn't differ too much from the usual. It'll usually be sort of your HR stuff the first couple of days, and then you'll get into the nitty-gritty side. Depending on your arrangement, so what we found is that the different companies have different levels of remote working that they're going to offer post-COVID, once everything gets back to normal. Fingers crossed not in the too distant future, but you may be required to go in for certain meetings. So just make sure you understand what the remote arrangement is for your particular role before you start, just to make sure you're not you don't have any sort of unsuspecting surprises there. So you're more than welcome to join us at our virtual booth if you've got any questions about what I've been through on the presentation. Also, that links into sort of tailored advice that we're able to give now. So any advice on your current situation, what the best approach is to job applications, what any help that we can give you on your CV or for interviews, advice on what your market's like at the moment. Can be a bit of a minefield, especially for junior roles, and any sort of possible vacancies that we can link you up with. I'll stop sharing now, and that's the end of the presentation. Thank you very much.